What is going on, everybody? We are back with another reaction video. Thank you so much for joining me today on this beautiful day, and to all my new supporters joining us, welcome to the family. I hope you all are doing well today, and I hope you all enjoy this video today just as much as myself. Everybody, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and turn all post notifications on so you don't miss another one of these reaction videos. And feel free to share this video and this channel to your friends and family members, whoever you feel may be interested in joining us on the daily to watch some of these amazing videos. And please feel free to spam my comment section and use that suggestion link down below in my description if you would like to recommend some of these phenomenal educational videos for me myself to react to. Now today, I will be reacting to Canada's historical ice storm from 1998. Now before we jump right into this video, I would like to read this quick article about Canada's ice storm. The ice storm of 1998 was one of the largest natural disasters in Canadian history. Between the 4th and 10th of January 1998, sections of St. Lawrence Valley from Kingston to Quebec's eastern townships received up to 100 millimeters of ice pellets and freezing rain, more than double the icy precipitation normally received in those areas in a whole year. Oh my gosh. The storm claimed as many as 35 lives, injured 945 people, and resulted in temporary displacement of 600,000 people. Several roads were shut down and massive power outages occurred, cutting off electricity for nearly 1.4 million customers in Quebec and over 230,000 in eastern Ontario. The total financial cost of the storm is estimated at $5.4 billion? 5.5. Let's jump right into this video. I'm looking forward towards this. 5.4 billion? That's stuck on my mind. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow morning and that price is still gonna be on my mind. Today, I will be reacting to the worst natural disaster in Canadian history, the ice storm of 1998. This video was highly recommended, so let's go ahead and check it out.
Montreal, Canada. It would begin on a January day in the skies above Montreal.
The entire city just coated with ice. This is honestly so much fun.
Ice storms are not unusual in Canada, coating the landscape with a beautiful shroud of ice.
Ice formation generally ranges from a trace to 1 inch in accumulation.
But in January 1998, Canada was hit by a storm that was anything but usual.
In 1998, Montreal suffered the most disastrous, tragic, and expensive ice storm in recorded history.
Even for people who grew up in Canada in the eastern part of the country, where winter they take pretty much for granted, have never seen anything quite like this.
The damage here is staggering.
Montreal seems like a city truly under siege tonight as thousands of troops move in on a mission of mercy. In Quebec alone, more than 1 million households, that's up to about 3 million people, left without electricity.
I've never seen anything like this in my life. I never would imagine that something like this could happen. I'm freaking out.
The 98 ice storm was Canada's worst natural disaster, affecting over 5.4 million people, or 1/5 of the country's population.
Virtually no one east of Ottawa has power tonight.
The storm blanketed an area larger than the state of Florida.
This is why we gotta invest in generators. Yes, gas generators, man. Y'all got a lot of land in Canada too, so go ahead and keep that generator about 10-20 feet away from your home in your backyard, or just out somewhere. Yeah, in your backyard. Probably got enough room back there. Put that generator on. Especially if you know it gets this bad.
This is the largest storm event in NYSEG's history. We suffered damage to our electric lines to the tune of about 1,850 miles. One of our engineers equated to a trip from here to Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Over 5 days, multiple layers of ice built up because of the relentless freezing rain that weighed down everything it touched.
During the ice storm, in a 5-day period, we had 80 hours of freezing rain that produced 100 millimeters of ice. That's a lot of ice all at one time.
Eventually, the city's infrastructure began to collapse.
When you saw an electrical pylon suddenly buckle in front of your eyes, you knew right away this was going to be a major, major problem.
storms.
The total write-off. I mean, we're not talking a repair job. It's a total rebuild.
4 million people lost
Total
power.
rebuild.
Oh my God, oh my God.
A devastating scene across the Champlain Valley and beyond. Thick ice, more than 3 inches in some spots, coating everything.
Over 17 million acres of forest were damaged in northern New England and upstate New York. Some trees carried 40 times their weight in ice.
And across the border, they were devastated. Montreal got hit hard.
Montrealers were burning the wood off their front porches and fireplaces in some cases that hadn't been used for 50 years.
And we saw an incredible sight, these huge power lines that people see driving from the border north to Montreal, just absolutely
bent right on.
Unbelievable.
And Quebec stayed that way for quite a while.
What? Did we not have enough money to fund these damages? What do you mean it stayed that way for a while? Or were they just holding off into the storm? Waiting it out?
3,000 kilometers of power lines were destroyed at a cost of over $800 million.
Oh my gosh!
The storm has been devastating. Insurance companies now estimate they'll pay homeowners.
I just asked that. 800 million? Oh. We're not looking at a repair. We're looking at a rebuild. You heard it from the man himself.
$500 million to repair their property, making this the most expensive natural disaster in Canadian history.
It went dark.
The sound of snapping branches and power lines, something that few will ever forget.
We could hear the trees crashing. It sounded like thunder. Some sounded like gunshots. We could hear them just crunching and crashing and going down. My wife and I just sat there. We didn't know what to do.
In Pakenham, west of Ottawa, listen and you'll hear a forest dying. Like gunfire, the sound of maples falling.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounded like. What? Some thick trees. Those must be some strong trees.
This is really tough to see.
Oh, it's awful.
Shirley Fulton's family has been running this sugar bush for 150 years. You shouldn't be able to see the sky here. It'll take 40 or 50 years for the bush to recover.
Oh,
Meteorologists
man.
have called the storm
No.
a 100-year event. But what many people don't realize is that it may take that long for our forests to recover.
Mother Nature doesn't really make rational choices. It can hit anywhere and affect anyone and kill people, injure people, ruin livelihoods without, the blink of an eye. You really, really appreciate the power of nature and the power of weather. And ultimately, no matter how much technology we have, no matter how equipped we are, no matter how prepared we are, people will always be profoundly affected by weather.
Yup.
Days out from a storm, it's hard to predict exactly what'll happen. But in early January 1998, we saw dangerous conditions headed our way.
This is rain. This is rain that means business.
And we knew it was going to be bad.
You're going to have a major icing problem.
The way it visited itself upon us, it creeped in. It was a couple of days of just that
January 4th,
little bit of
1998.
rain, little bit, almost mist.
Yeah.
It was just this slow, silent build up until we realized that we were in deep trouble.
Oh my goodness. Oh, you ain't getting out of that spot.
January 5th, 1998. Quebecers going back to school and work after the holidays. It wasn't a very nice day.
Too much ice. The ice is terrible. All over the place.
Dave Bronstetter, this is Daybreak on CBC Radio 1940 in Montreal. If you do not have to go out, do not. Unless it is absolutely necessary, stay home.
Highways become skating rinks, and back roads, bobsled runs.
Oh, see that.
Almost 15,000 trees in Montreal are broken or down.
Dozens of streets are closed, power lines ripped to the ground, homes and cars damaged.
As I walked up, I said, oh, lucky me, the back windshield has no ice on it. And I got a little closer to find out that I didn't have a back windshield. I don't have much of a front windshield.
The city tries to clean up the mess. Mother Nature keeps making the mess bigger.
The worst neighborhood are definitely...
What you doing if you get out your house? What you doing if you leave your house during an ice storm? That's a red flag right there. You shouldn't be leaving your house, but some people have to. Responsibilities. And you see that you are missing your front windshield. You're missing your back windshield. You're missing your side mirrors. Or matter of fact, there's a tree sitting on top of your car. What you doing? What's your first reaction to that?
NDG, Maisonneuve, and Rosemont.
Sure hope you got insurance.
Late that afternoon, the city opens 2 shelters for people who have no power and need help.
No power,
Then,
gonna be
the
freezing.
real power of the storm hits during the afternoon.
So much ice fell that 8 high-voltage power lines crumbled like toothpicks, their cables strewn across a busy highway near Drummondville. Hydro workers have never seen it so bad.
About 400,000 homes are without electricity. More than 600 crews are working to restore power. Here's a look at the area affected by the storm. A region that stretches from in and around Ottawa to Montreal and up the south shore of the St. Lawrence.
We haven't seen anything remotely like this since about February of 1961. We got about 50 millimeters worth of ice. Today, we're getting there. We have about 18 millimeters on the ground, on the cars, on the trees.
Darren Solomon, our reporter, is outside right now to fill us in with some more information. Darren, what's the latest Hydro says about how many customers are without power?
In all of Quebec, 755,000 homes without electricity. In Montreal, on the island, we're talking about nearly 250,000 homes.
Does Hydro have any new estimate about when people will be getting their power back?
They still say it could take about 3...
That's exactly why it said that it went dark. Okay. Literally, but not literally. Because, of course, the sun still comes up, but at nighttime it's dark.
3 or 4 days.
The forecast for that night and for the next day, Tuesday, January 6th, was for freezing rain. But that forecast didn't say 4 days of freezing rain. It didn't say the ice storm of the century that's going to turn your lives upside down. But that's what we got. This is a look back when the triangle of darkness descended on the South Shore and when the ring of power around Montreal broke down. This is day 2 of the ice storm crisis in Montreal. The freezing rain has started again. There are still 500,000 homes in the southern part of Quebec that do not have electricity.
Command Central at Hydro-Quebec. Workers have been dispatching crews around the clock, trying to deal with one of the biggest blackouts in Quebec history.
So the branches are falling all over the place. They're breaking the wires. We're putting them back up 2 hours after alarms go off, and it just went down again.
Hydro wasn't the only outfit on the road. The city's crews were scrambling to stay on top of the mess.
Across town, several apartments were evacuated. People had used propane-powered generators to stay warm and ended up poisoned by carbon monoxide fumes.
Oh.
Everyone told Montrealers to keep off the streets. More shelters open for people without electricity.
Do you want a soup, ma'am?
After an emergency cabinet meeting in Quebec, the premier issued a warning.
I think that we must tell the population that they should not hesitate to leave home if they feel like it.
Those who tried to tough it out at home, some people's problems only got worse. This man's house caught fire after using his fireplace for 2 days straight.
Okay, I mean, you used your fireplace for 2 days straight. Even I wouldn't expect for that to happen. Yeah, I'm being honest. I can't see it happening. How? It looks like it blew up. How could that happen after using your fireplace for 2 days? I mean, if it's a gas fireplace, you still have to light it. Maybe if it was a gas fireplace, it was just using too much power. And that caused it to blow? Other than that, you should be able to use your fireplace, right? That's what it's for. Was it an old-fashioned one or was it one of the new ones? I got the electric one. No, wait, not electric. It's gas. You turn a switch, so it is electric. But then you have to still put fire in it? Like, there's still... Okay, so there's a steady fire going. So that tells you right there that it has to be electric. It doesn't go off. It's just a tiny fire. You can see it all day long if you want in my living room. A tiny fire that goes. And then you turn a switch on and then it cranks. And the heat starts to build up and the fire will get bigger. But that fire is not going to really spark. You know, it's not going to really do what it needs to do yet. Because you need to hit it with a match. So once you hit it with that match, it gives it an extra spark and then it... Boom. There you go. You could use your fireplace. That's how mine is. It's like gas. I just want to say it's gas. Is it? Would you call that gas or electric? Or would you call that both? Never really understood that. Of how it works. I'm like, you mean to tell me I could just flip the switch on to turn the fireplace on, but you still want me to light a match? Am I hearing that right? I mean, we was asking a billion questions when we moved here. I'm like, yeah, you sure that's how you use it?
Down in history as the ice storm of...
You heard him. We are part of the blame. Oh, this is unfortunate.
It's not just Canada that's being hammered by these winds and bad weather. The northeastern United States is also being battered very hard by this storm.
Well, the power went off at about 9 o'clock, and then we didn't pay too much attention to it. But we had in the back of our mind the trouble in Canada. They're without power, and this big storm coming with all the ice. What are we going to do? So we started thinking we got to look up a generator.
Ha, my man.
Up along the Canadian border in the tiny hamlet of Perry's Mills, there's already ice. But at this point, the ice is more spectacle than disaster.
This is going to sound awful, but at first it was kind of exciting because you've never seen anything like this, and you would run from one window to the next and go, oh my God, but then it got terrifying.
North of the border, an eerie preview of what's coming. Trees crashing through cars. More than 500,000 Hydro-Quebec customers in the dark.
This is News Channel 5 at 6.
Yeah, this is... that's what I was saying, though. Generators is the way to go. If you have a generator, a gas-powered generator, you'll be able to run a few appliances throughout your home. Now, some people have generators built in within their home system. I know my electrical instructor does on his house. He actually installed it. So if something were to go down, man, his whole house is going to run perfectly fine. I mean, he can use every single appliance in his house. It's pretty convenient, man, and it's already attached to the house. All you gotta do is flip a switch, turn it on. And it can be close to the house because it's built within the house. It's not gonna combust. Look, go cheaper and get you a gas-powered generator. You can keep it about 10, 20 feet away from your home. And go ahead and run it, man. Yes, it's gonna be a little loud, but you can still use your appliances. You guys, please feel free to let me know how you felt about this part 1 of Canada's traumatizing ice storm of 1998. And if you were actually born or alive around this time, how did you and your loved ones survive this crazy storm? Please let me know. I hate the cold. I love the rain, but when you start talking about this ice rain and it's turning into ice, that's a turnoff. Just hearing about snow is a turnoff, especially in the state I'm in. You hear it like, for what? For what? Skip our state. It don't even snow over here like that anyway. Now, would you guys prefer a crazy ice storm or a crazy heat wave? Oh, please let me know in the comment section down below. Everybody, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and turn all post notifications on. If you enjoyed this part 1 just as much as myself, feel free to spam my comment section and use that suggestion link if you would like to recommend some of these amazing videos for myself to react to. And by the way, that suggestion link will be in my description down below. Everybody, please feel free to share this video and this channel to your friends and family members, whoever you feel may be interested in joining us on a daily basis to watch these lovely videos. Tell them to join us. Join the family, man. Join along. Once again, thank you so much for joining me today on this beautiful day to watch this video. I hope to catch you all in the next reaction video. Stay safe.